if you've clicked on this video, you are probably beginning to shop for your engagement ring. First off, I want to say congratulations. This is a very exciting time, and shopping for your engagement ring should be a really, really fun process. Second, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Kirsten. I work at Hitched in Georgetown. We specialize in men and women's wedding bands, but also in custom engagement rings. We know that there are a lot of considerations when purchasing your engagement ring. It's kind of overwhelming with how much information there is out there, so I'm going to start a little series on this channel breaking down some of the key things that you need to know. So today I'm going to start with diamond cuts. And these are just gonna be the cuts of the diamonds, how they're gonna look on your finger, and just kind of break down different common examples that you might run into while shopping and see if you have any favorites. All the styles I talk about today are going to be based off of our Hitched signature collection. As you can see here, we have a lot of different cuts, and since we are completely custom, we can really customize every piece of your ring. All right, first up, we're gonna start with our classic round. So round is gonna be your classic circle look. If you're kind of unsure what to get and you're kind of between a few things, we would recommend something like a round. You know, you can never go wrong with it. It's gonna look good on the finger, it's timeless, it's always gonna be in, so to speak, so it's a good choice. Next up, we have a cut that's similar to round, but is actually going to be a little bit more squared around its edges, and this is cushion cut. So cushion cut can be done in this normal square cushion cut, or it can be done elongated. So this is a really good option if you're kind of between the more, you know, sharper edged cuts and the round cuts. It's kind of a happy medium, and I think a lot of people go with it for that reason. Next up, we have the beloved oval cut. So I would say oval cut is pretty popular right now, and for good reason. It's incredibly beautiful. It's elongated on the finger. It holds its carat weight pretty well. So it's a good option if you're looking for something that's gonna take up more space on your finger. The one downfall of an oval that I like to mention is the bow tie. That is pretty prominent in a lot of poorly cut ovals. So you might not really be able to see it here, but the bow tie is just gonna literally look like a bow tie in the center of your ring, as it just kind of reflects certain lights. It creates kind of that dark bow tie, and some people don't like the look of that. So if you're kind of between a few different cuts and ovals on the list, this is something to consider. Next up, we have kind of a different cut. So this is gonna be your emerald cut. And I say different because the inside actually is cut with a step cut instead of your typical brilliant, giving the look of lines inside the diamond and more of an Art Deco look. I will say that if you want something a little bit more vintage, a little something more maybe unique, emerald is a really great option. It's a very timeless look. It's something that's always gonna be in. If you want something a little bit more elongated than say a round and you're kind of between, I would recommend something like an emerald. Now going along with that, if you're not a fan of the step cut inside, which are the little lines in an emerald, the other thing you can do is a radiant cut, which is going to have the brilliant cut of something like a round, but in the same shape as an emerald, so it's gonna hold that rectangular shape. This is a really great option if, like I said, you want that more elongated square rectangle look without the step cut in the middle. So this is definitely more, you know, modern and brilliant, and a really, really pretty option. Next up, we have the princess cut, which is just gonna be your square cut. This can be a really simple, beautiful look. The one thing I like to note is that square cut diamonds are gonna hold a lot of its carat weight underneath. So if you're looking for something more elongated and big on your finger, I wouldn't recommend something like a square or a round. Next up, we have our Pear cut diamond, and I will say I feel like Pear was pretty popular a few years ago and is now maybe decreasing its popularity. However, I think it's a really, really cool, unique look that's been around forever. Again, it can create a pretty timeless staple look, just depending on kind of what your preference is. I know some people don't favor this as much just because it's obviously comes to a point, and some people don't like the imbalance of something like a Pear cut. However, that just kind of comes down to personal preference. This is just kind of what I've heard from customers coming in. And last, but certainly not least, is a Marquise cut. And I will say Marquise were really popular in the 90s, and they're making a comeback. I think this is due in large part to how elongated of a cut it is. If you're looking for something that is a rock on your finger, I would recommend looking at something really elongated like a Marquise, because the carat holds a lot on its face. It's just gonna look a lot bigger carat wise than something like a round or a princess. So if that's something that's important to you, then a Marquise would be a great option. However, I do want to make one honorary shout out to Old Mind Cut, and this is a really, really cool vintage cut that was made before your modern brilliant cut. So this might be less common to come by. However, if you're looking for something a little bit more vintage and unique, I would recommend checking out an old mine cut. So that's kind of a quick overview all about diamond cuts. I hope you learned a little something, and I hope this lets you be a little bit more informed while going out and shopping for your engagement ring. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a series about everything you should know before shopping for your engagement ring, so make sure to subscribe, like this video for more. Talk to you soon!